Hello everyone, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Henry and you are here with me on Rhythm Studio. If you're watching me now, it's because you want to understand OSCE. Today we are going to discuss about professional values. In my previous video, we discussed how to easily memorize professional values. For today's video, we are going to talk about the individual topics under the professional values. As we already learned how to memorize the similarities regarding the professional values, I'm going to take you through all the 15 topics under the professional value and be able to memorize them easily. I am going to make it in the form of story or scenario based so that you can easily memorize it even if you don't remember anything during the day. Let's recap on what OSCE professional values is all about. There are about 15 topics which you'll be asked to answer one question. Out of the 15 topics, there are about 5 to 7 points which you need to memorize. You have 10 minutes to write all these points, and this is not a time to overthink during the day. You have to be able to reproduce them as quickly as possible because the time that runs during the OSCE period is more faster than the usual time we know. The difficulties that comes with the OSCE professional values stems from the fact that you have to memorize all these 15 topics that individually has about 5 to 6 points which you need to memorize, and you don't know which particular topic will be asked. You don't need to worry, that's why I'm making this video, so that during your exams time, when you are asked any question, you will be able to answer irrespective of whatever topic that comes. Before we continue, have you subscribed to my channel? This channel is going to be helpful to you and your friends. So if you don't mind, go and like the channel, subscribe and share to your friends so that whoever wants to also benefit from this channel will get something important from here. So the first topic we are going to discuss about is bullying. Bullying simply means when staff are not given the necessary protection and the safest environment to be able to work. This has been a matter of concern regarding people working in the United Kingdom as in terms of professional value and the advices you are going to give to your friend when they encounter bullying. So as I said, I'm going to make it in a scenario based form or a storyline. This is basically you and your friend known as Pat, and Pat comes to tell you that she's going through a lot in the workplace. She's not been given the necessary protections when it comes to her working in the place. Then she's been racially abused and she feels like she wants to get away from the workplace. So if this situation happens to you or your friend, what do you have to do? What do you have to tell your friend? And how are you going to approach this situation? That's the reason why we have this professional value. So if you're able to understand this situation, that there's a friend who is finding difficult acclimatizing with the situation at work, this is not because of her own fault, and it's as a result of situation regarding she being racially abused or any form of abuse that comes under bullying, and the person comes to approach you, what are you going to advise? So the advice is what we are going to do as your answers to the bullying marking criteria. As we go through it step by step, you'll be able to understand and be able to memorize it. So the first point is recognizes that any form of bullying and harassment is unacceptable and violates a person's human and legal rights. This is to tell you that every individual has legal and human rights, and then this must not be interrupted when you're working in any hospital or any industry. So when there's any sort of bullying and harassment, it violates that individual's human and then legal rights. So it is not acceptable. Making Pat understand the situation brings back the idea that she can fight for their right because they deserve it. Going on to the second one, you need to identify that employers have a duty of care to provide a safe and healthy working environment for their staff, and that this is not achieved if a staff member is subjected to bullying. So basically, every person who works in any company or any hospital, they deserve the right to be protected by their employers. So if these employers do not provide the necessary environment safe for their staff, then it means that they are subject to bullying. Recognizes the need to follow the actions set out in the local bullying and harassment policy. So this should tell you that every institution or every company, or basically as we are in the healthcare system, we are talking about Nursing and Midwifery Council, there are various policies that are available in every hospital that should indicate how to go about anything regarding bullying, and these policies are really there to protect everyone. The main idea behind the policy is to direct every individual regarding how to approach situations that comes with bullying and how to go about things and the necessary requirements and everything you need to know about it. And the next one is acknowledge the need to keep to and uphold the standards and values set out in the code, prioritize people, practice effectively, preserve safety, and promote professionalism and trust. Bullying is not a behavior that protects others or promotes trust. As we know, the NMC do not encourage us to be bullied, and so they have provided us the code which gives us all the directions and everything we need to know regarding our workplace. And so when someone is being bullied, it doesn't promote trust. Just to let you know, this is one of the points that normally runs through most of the points in the topic, so you should keep it in mind so that you'll be able to memorize it. We move on to the next, which states that encourages and support part to report the incident of harassment to the senior manager, reports their own observations to the senior manager at the earliest opportunity, verbally and in writing, recognizes the need to be clear, honest, and objective about the reasons for concern. This point is very thorough, so we can break it into several points. So let's try to make it easy for us to understand. First of all, you have to encourage and support parts to report the incident of harassment to the senior manager. So when it comes to anyone subjected to bullying, the first thing the person needs to do is to report to the senior manager. So let's assume this person part is being bullied by the senior staff nurse or the charge nurse. The first thing that she has to do is to contact the senior manager as soon as possible and then report the situation. And in terms of reporting the situation, the things that you need to consider is to report their own observation, not anyone's observation, into the senior manager and at the earliest opportunity. It shouldn't be delayed, because the more it delays, the more it affects the severity of the whole situation. And this could be done both verbal and in writing. And the next thing is that whatever you are trying to report, you should recognize the need to be clear, honest, and objective. You don't have to lie to anyone. You should tell and say whatever you've seen, whatever you've experienced, and you shouldn't be so emotional regarding this whole thing. Sometimes it could be misrepresentation of information or idea. You need to be very careful when you are reporting this situation to any senior colleague. Then the next thing we have to consider is to recognize that they may be asked by the senior manager to record a witness statement, documenting what was seen and what steps were taken to deal with the matter, including to whom the incident was reported. The witness statement must be signed and dated. You know, one thing about nursing is that we value documentation. When you have to report to a senior manager, you should have it in mind that you'll be asked to write a witness statement. Basically, witness statement is something that happened. Then you have to explain whatever happened from the beginning of the whole situation to the end. You should state in it what you saw or what happened to you. And then you should mention the steps that it took you to deal with this situation and the matter. And then you should include whom you reported. So whoever you reported this incident to, you will need to put that person's name in there. And then this witness statement will be valid when it's signed and dated, to make it very professional. It's very self-explanatory that you're going to report to someone, and then you need to make sure that you'll be asked to do something regarding documentation. And this documentation is to tell us whatever happened, what you did, and then the event of the situation. And this will be able to help anyone who is supposed to investigate this situation get all the details necessary to help him or her come across the source of this problem. And then the last point which you must do is to recognize that Pat may need psychological support from the employee counseling service and encourage her to use this resource. So we should all know that when it comes to bullying or when it comes to harassment, it's a sort of mental health concern, and it can psychologically affect any individual no matter how strong you are. And so you don't know what is happening to Pat at that moment when she is going through that situation. What you need to do to help that individual is to encourage her to go for any mental health support which is provided by your company. You should encourage her to use the resources provided. Sometimes some people find it difficult going through certain things. They are very naive, want to make sure they don't get into trouble. What you need to do is to support Pat to be able to across all these necessary resources will help her mental health and prevent any from happening. The last point which states that handwriting is clear and legible. This point you don't need to write. Is basically to let you know that whatever you're writing regarding the points should be very clear and legible. So this comes to the end of what we call the bullying marking criteria. If you went through with me, you'll be able to understand the reason why we are asking you to do all these things. It's basically to help you know the steps which you need to follow when any individual is subjected to bullying. To recap, basically when your friend comes to tell you that he or she is going through a lot, being bullied, there's harassment going on, and you need to give an advice or direct your friend how to go about this situation. The situation is very serious and should be taken as a matter of concern. So all these steps that you need to follow, which we discussed, must be done. Although this is basically for exams purpose, this is to tell us that even if we start to feel this situation happening to us or happen to our colleagues in real life, we are going to use this process to help the individual get through it. If you like this content and you want more from me, all I need from you is to like this video, share the video to your friends, and subscribe to my channel so that I'll be encouraged to do more, and this will help everyone be able to pass the OSCE exams successfully. Thank you so much if you came along with me. I wish you all the best in your exams. Bye.